I would say that one of the biggest stumbling blocks in the way of contemporary figurative sculptors who wish to regain some of what we have lost in the course of the 20th century, I would say it's the ignorance of the once widespread practice of carving marble. I mean, ask any student of figurative sculpture who their idols are, and you're going to hear Michelangelo, Bernini, Canova, Rodin, and ask them what their favorite sculptures are, and they're going to say, the Laocoon, or the Ecstasy of St. Teresa, the Pietà, the Kiss, all marble. But name me an art school or an atelier that teaches students how to model in clay from life and to carve in marble, because I can't name one. I can't name one. When I was a student learning to model clay figures and portraits from life in an art school, I had to take a semester off and go to Pietrasanta in Italy near Carrara to learn in a commercial carving studio the basic methods of marble carving. I hope that eventually some of the larger teaching studios and ateliers will start to offer some of the kind of training that I had to leave school to obtain. But until then, I'm going to teach marble carving however and whenever I can. And that's why I and a few friends organize the Wiltshire Workshop. It's a 2-week course which puts in the hands of each student all the tools and skills needed to create a piece of figurative sculpture. Even in places like Carrara and Pietrasanta, the majority of educational workshops deal only with direct carving, which is when you take a piece of marble and you get a hammer and a chisel and you just start going for it. But as any marble sculptor will tell you, that's not how it's done. It's not how you do it if you want to produce quality figurative work. How it's done, and how it always has been done, is you first create a rough draft in clay, right? And then you cast that clay model into plaster, and then you copy the plaster cast very precisely into marble. And that's how Bernini did it, and that's how Rodin did it, and yes, that's even how Michelangelo did it. He made models which he copied into marble. Now for the Wiltshire Workshop, each student chooses a plaster cast to copy into marble. You can make your own Bernini if you want, or your own Michelangelo. And believe it or not, it only takes about a day to learn the basics, and then it's just a matter of practice and diligence and fortitude. Carving marble is actually a very, very simple thing, but simple doesn't mean that it's easy. It takes time, patience, and fortitude. It is many hours of concentration mixed with a little physical labor. But we make it as simple as we can for the student. For example, the students of the Wiltshire Workshop don't have to do what I had to do, which was to buy a complete set of sculpture tools before I even start. All the tools are provided for use, and if students decide that this is something they want to continue with, they can buy their own tools, or they can buy the ones they used during the course. And this works out great for those who just want to try marble carving but are unsure if they will ever do it again. Students learn the use of all sorts of tools, from hand tools, power tools, air tools, how to cut and split marble, polishing, but most importantly, students learn how to point. Pointing is the process of transferring specific points from the surface of the plaster cast and locating those points into the mass of the marble. We use a device known as a macchinetta a punto, or pointing machine. It's a device perfected about 250 years ago, but it's a direct descendant of devices used in the Renaissance, as well as ancient Greece and Rome. It's the theory and practice behind this device that made the Western figurative sculptural tradition possible. It's an eminently learnable process. Something you can do at any skill level, any age. If you have the energy to spend the day working in your garden, you've got the energy and strength to carve marble. The course is suitable for future and current sculpture students, suitable for painters, lovers of art, or anyone who just has always wanted to know how it's done. Why Wiltshire? Because it's not Florence in August, which can be brutally hot. And while August is the perfect time in terms of people's vacation schedules to take a course like this, It's the hottest month of the year, and it makes learning to carve marble in Florence or in Italy that much more strenuous. But Wiltshire, England is beautiful in August, and the location of the workshop on Draycott Foliot is stunning. And we're not far from a couple of really cool places. We're about a half hour from Stonehenge, and really just a few miles down from Avebury, which is, the largest Neolithic stone circle in the world. It's over 6,000 years old. Well, for me, marble carving is one of the most fulfilling things I've ever learned. I've cast in bronze before, and that's great, and it's its own thing with its own skills, but to look at a work that you've done in marble and to think, I carved that from a rock, and it's going to last for centuries. For me, there's a sense of accomplishment that I just don't get with clay or bronze, in my experience. To me, to have every blow of the chisel come from my hands, I don't know, to me it's the difference between driving 26 miles and running a marathon. You end up in the same place, but one way makes you a stronger, better person. It gives you a sense of accomplishment. I carve my own marble, and I'm better off as an artist and as a person for having done so.